What up?
What up, guys? We're back. This is the anime table. Was at the table.
Episode 2.
With the anime. Episode 2. Last time, if you watched, we reviewed Death Note, the live action
movie, which was not anime at all, but
not anime.
Close enough.
It was just a normal table. But we're switching back, or switching to
two. For the first time.
And if you paid attention, we voted for the next anime we reviewed to be ReZero. Anyone remember the full name?
Isekai something other.
Isekai ReZero something.
You got it.
Something
ReZero, the past, and its life starts from,
ReZero, Return of the King.
That was in 2015, right?
2016.
2016?
2016.
In 2015, maybe it was.
Might have been.
We know our
I
facts
don't
here.
fucking remember. We don't. This isn't a fact.
That doesn't matter.
Anyway,
It's about opinions.
we all watched it recently, so that we'd be up to date. And does anybody want to start it off?
Well, before we get into that, I would like to just quickly go over some shit that we've been watching.
My bad. I forgot our
We
first
skipped
segment.
right over that.
Who wants to start with that part?
I'll start because I finished a couple seasonal shows recently.
Up to date.
So, number one seasonal show that I finished is probably Made in Abyss for this season. Absolutely incredible. I'll probably try and get us to talk about it in the near future.
I need to watch it.
It's been dope as fuck. Just really, really well done. Like all around. Like I'm not even like into the whole high fantasy type shit, but that really was just an experience. Other than that, I finished some other shitty shows. I finished Shingeki no Bahamut Virgin Soul, which really fell apart. Like heavily fell apart at the end. Which is a shame because that show has such an interesting world, but it just kind of I feel like they didn't know what to do with the characters, you know?
Yeah.
And then Koitu Uso, which I've been wanting to say something about. I'm not like a huge rant, but just what does the end of Koitu Uso mean? It was like they literally imply that he's just gonna be like the whole point of Koitu Uso is that you have in Japan they've instated this law that's like, oh, because of the low birth rates, we're now doing like arranged marriages basically through the government, and you take a test when you're a kid. And then they match you with someone who they think is like your looks match or whatever, and they put you together. And so the point of the show is you got this kid who's in love with this one girl, voiced by Kana Hanazawa, and which is also the only good thing about her. Voiced by Kana Hana, has big titty. That's it. He's in love with her. And then he gets matched with some chick named Ririna, who's this like pink-haired bitch. And in the whole show, you would think that this would be like conflict, right? Where it's like, oh, who's he gonna choose? Like they must hate each other. No, it's about these three being friends for the rest of the series. And at the end, they just pretty much imply that like they're just all three of them are just getting it on.
What the fuck?
Like
I not watched the show.
The show ends with just all of them in like a tuxedo and 2 wedding dresses, and they're like, oh, they're all tied together by the red string of fate. Yeah, well, not that they're
not
getting married, but
just,
they just imply like he hasn't chosen yet.
He's fucking his harem.
And then they show like the red string of fate thing, which is like the the Japanese romance.
That's
shit.
kind of a dumb premise, to be honest. I don't know how you sell
It
that.
could work out, kind of.
I
but
mean,
like,
you have to really. How do you explain why they?
That like really just comes across like as like immediate harem shit.
That's
like,
what the
whole
kid's such a
premise is
fuck,
to just
too.
set up him being around girls.
Yeah. But I mean, it's just like his character is awful. He has no business being a main character. He's just a fucking cardboard man. And then you have like these 2 bitches, one of which is the only one with character. And I just don't know what the end is supposed to imply, because it's not like a wait for season 2 type shit. They're just I guess this is our fates, being together forever, all 3 of us. And I was like, all right, sure, buddy.
As long as they're down with it, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, this is a pretty happy ending as far as I'm concerned.
But yeah, so that's pretty much all I've been catching up on watching. I've also been doing a Monogatari rewatch with Shell. But yeah.
Monogatari.
I talk about that a lot.
I finished Classroom of the 157.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Classroom of the Elite.
Casting with the lead was that was a very. I was like wondering how they were gonna tie up that show because it was kind of like, oh, the next episode was the last episode. What the hell? Like this is like not an ending, but the ending was very kind of. I like the ending.
Yeah.
It was very.
I need a season
definitely
two
wording
now.
a season 2. It's very much like, oh, this is like I thought he was just this kind of a guy, but no, he's actually even more like.
He's even more.
She's even more of a god than I thought. He literally does not care. Okay.
Yeah, that show is so fucking entertaining. It was like Grisaya done well. And
Yeah, I hated watching. I hated seeing that. Like, obviously, I really never watched. I never read the MAL reviews because they're always like either like, oh, best thing ever, or they're like, pile of shit.
Yeah,
just fucking kill yourself.
it
watch this
really
shit.
is just.
And it's like one or the other, and it's like for every single show too. But like, it's just funny because like you watching it, like it's so unbelievable, dog. It's like they're so serious about this dumb stuff, and it's like that's like kind of that's kind of like the appeal of it.
Yeah, that's
like,
the point.
It's a very self-aware show that's like this very serious but like not serious thing. That's like all this crazy stuff going down.
It's like a panty
And, like-
thief, and they're just like, "Who's the panty thief?" And
Who
it's
could
like,
that be? Like,
everyone's so on edge about it.
yeah, it's like it's clearly not like the show takes itself seriously when it needs to, but also doesn't when it has to. You know, like it takes certain like things that aren't serious really seriously, and certain things that like
Yeah,
super serious kind of like casually on the side. You know, it's just kind of. It's kind of it really fits the style of the show. It's not just like out of place at all. It's very has a certain aesthetic to it. But beyond that, I rewatched Higurashi because I felt like it. Because I was curious if my opinion of it like a fucking decade ago, not a decade ago, but like how many years ago, has changed or not. And it's not changed at all. it's still the exact same.
still your goat.
It's still my goat. It is still like even though like the animation. It's crazy. I didn't realize the animation in the second season actually like improved from the first season. It's not like crazy improvement, but like it's very kind of you can tell.
Yeah,
But the first season, yeah, that's the only thing that I actually complained about in the entire show was like the animation. And that was it. Everything else was still sick.
right.
But other than that, I don't think I've really watched anything other besides obviously ReZero. But
Cool.
I've watched hella stuff lately. Outdated that all you guys have seen.
He's been catching up on shit.
I watched a lot of Monogatari stuff. I watched Owara Monogatari and the second season, which is most up-to-date thing I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
As well as Hana Monogatari, just a lot, everything. Suka Monogatari.
All the Monogatari.
All of it. I've watched all of it. Now I've watched all of it. And it was really good.
I've not watched that show in literally years.
I watched a lot that I want to talk about, so I won't talk long about it.
I feel like in the future we'll have
probably do a
Doc watch
rundown.
it, and then we'll do some sort of like.
It was really good though. It's definitely it's the funniest thing I've watched probably. It's either that. It's between that and Konosuba, but they're two very different comedies, so I wouldn't compare them.
Yeah.
But this appeals a little more to me. You know, this kind of monotone, straight-faced comedy, but then it's got all these great elements, these story elements, and fantastic characters, as many shows I've watched have. So that is one of the best things, my favorite things that I've watched so far. I don't know how I'd rate it, but it's definitely one of the best. It's up there.
It's one of a kind.
Yeah, it's very unique. Speaking of Konosuba, I watched season 2, which was just as good as season 1. It was absolutely fantastic. It might be better. I haven't decided. It was
The whole cult thing is so.
every character is just perfect. You know, it's like, oh, I can't even. Just it makes me want to laugh right now. I love it. It's so great. Every character. Oh man.
I saw that wall scroll when I was at DTX. I was like, dog, you should get this. this freaking Aqua, and they literally like see like
Aqua is
ass
such a
practically.
great character. I can't get enough.
I love that she like. I think in the novels or some shit, they talk about how like she just like magically doesn't need panties.
I remember that.
Yeah, like that she's just like.
That really, that's funny because it's just never anything anyone's touched on.
Yeah,
or talked about.
but she just doesn't wear pants at all.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy. I watched. I know I watched other stuff.
ReZero, obviously.
ReZero, obviously. I'm watching High School of the Dead,
That's
which is
another
pretty
good-
great so far.
That's the guilty pleasure.
That's the
anime of all
best
time.
guilty pleasure of
I'm
all time.
having a lot of fun with that. And those are the big ones. So, yeah, I'm enjoying it all. Fate Zero. That's the one I was thinking of. I watched Fate Zero season 1, and that was really good too. They did the premise is really cool and interesting, and
until you get to fucking Fate Apocrypha, where it's just like a shit show.
I like all the characters a lot. I wish it was kind of like I said. I wish they did more of a camp thing, because like you have to vote. You have to want, Saber to win, because it's like their literal wish for the Holy Grail is to save the world. That's the way. I'm gonna save the world. It's like, wow, am I supposed to want anyone else to win? Because there are a lot of other cool characters.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna have to watch them all die, or maybe not. I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm gonna start season 2 pretty soon. So that's pretty much what I've seen in a nutshell.
Dope. Well then, I think with that, we can get into the biting discussion on ReZero, which, just to kind of get, like, as a background, right, I've seen the show. Doc, did you watch it when it came out?
Yeah, I watched when it came out. Yeah, I watched it when it was coming out.
Doc has seen it, like, when it came out. Shell, also still new to anime, had to watch it. I went ahead and rewatched it for this particular discussion.
Yeah, I don't watch every single episode, but I rewatched like most of like everything I thought was like key, important stuff.
So I guess to start off, let's just go down the list of like concepts and stuff, right? Like, how did everyone feel about? Because this is an isekai show.
Yeah.
But it definitely seems, and I've talked about it being kind of a deconstruction of the isekai genre.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
So it has like these really dark. It takes these real dark elements. The main character is supposed to be kind of like the key isekai type guy who's like, oh, I'm a nerd, but I'm not really. Like, he's like, knows jujitsu or some shit. And he's like white knighting so hard, like the whole time.
Yeah. His character, at first, I kind of liked him at first. His character kind of became boring for me.
You think?
He was just, there wasn't much to him, He was kind of cool. He was obviously doing the right thing. You wanted him to win. But, he just wasn't that interesting. He really did seem kind of like a stereotype.
Yeah.
But as far as the concept of ReZero, of him dying and having a saving point throughout the series, I thought that was kind of cool. They did it pretty well. There was some saving points, I guess. There was some time where, like, I thought they spent too much there, too many episodes. I saw it at the mansion. They spent too long.
The mansion was easily my favorite arc, easily.
It was a really good one, but there was, I don't know.
There's a lot of real weird, intricate stuff going on at the mansion. Yeah. And also, because I fucked with the light novels after watching.
Yeah.
Like, so going back and like reading kind of there's just some extra shit going on at the mansion. It's kind of like hard to get across in the first watch or two, but you get it over time. But yeah, I can definitely see what you mean of it kind of being a little grindy.
It dragged a little bit, just a little bit. It was good, and I liked that arc.
It's definitely important, that particular arc, to set up Rem and to set up Emilia.
Yeah.
So I kind of get why they would spend as much time as they did on it, but I do agree that once you get into the real meat of the story, which is all the camps and shit.
I didn't think the camp was as important as you guys thought.
They
did not really sell it to me. It wasn't really. It was not prevalent until the later half of the show. Actually, not even the later half. Like the later, I don't know, last 8 episodes maybe. That really, and. With the camp thing, it was pretty two-sided. Out of 5 people, there were really only 2 options, which is really disappointing. Well, not really. It was kind of like you had. I'm not going to remember the unimportant characters' names because there's the 2 girls who were obviously just
describe them.
They were terrible. Well, the blonde-haired girl, obviously, she was just a bad guy.
Yeah.
And I didn't like her, and they didn't show much. They didn't show much. And then the cat girl, or not, she wasn't a cat girl, but she had a
little
cat girl.
Yeah.
She was kind of not that cool either. I didn't like her either.
She was an underhanded type of.
She was pretty whatever.
See,
I thought when I saw her, I felt because she was like a people's person, but they showed her in the one scene, and then you never saw her again. So.
Yeah. Well, she's perfect.
The real reason I thought I like her is because I like Reinhard. Because I thought
Reinhard's.
I thought he was like the coolest character after like the first arc, which was might have been my favorite. After that, I thought he was like the coolest character in the entire series. He's dope. He's just standing there the whole time using some dumbass sword, not even his own cool sword.
My friend Ulu, I had my friend Ulu watch ReZero once, and he was talking about, he was just like, I feel like you're supposed to be behind like Emilia or like Crusch or somebody because they seem like good rulers. He's like, but Felt just has Reinhard, who's like obviously like the strongest character.
If they had showed more to Felt, I would have 100% gone with her because Reinhard was the dopest character. But then I never saw more of her. So.
Yeah, they make a whole big deal. What'd you say?
They didn't know more during the light novel, but this obviously haven't touched
it. Yeah. They make a big deal about him in the light novels where it's like all his powers are like, he's just got like resistance to fire, resistance to ice, resistance to wind.
And he's like also the character where like, then I kind of started getting a scope of power and people's powers. And then, you know, you learn about old man's wife who was the sword saint. The sword saint, right? That's
the sword saint before
and
him.
she was really cool, and then he ended up probably being my favorite character, or one of.
He was pretty cool.
The butler guy. I can't even remember his name, guys. I'm sorry. I remember.
It's like it's not. I want to call him Walter because I want to call every butler Walter. But yeah, no. Wilhelm.
Yeah, I got it. He was a great character.
Yeah, they make a huge point about, like, it's funny because the creator of these has his, like, tier list. Like, he's made a tier list of, like, these are how you should look at the characters in terms of power levels. And, like, Reinhardt is, like, SS tier, like, above, like, everyone. Like, he's super busted.
I love how Reinhardt has to be gone for everything because if he was there,
he just
destroy everything. It's like, oh, I should get Reinhardt. He makes one comment about it because he gets killed by the cult people, like, 2 times. Yeah. Subaru does. He's like, oh, maybe I should get Reinhardt. Oh, he's gone. Oh, damn it.
Yeah. As far as, like, the camp shit, I don't, like, put a lot of, like, weight on the actual camp, like, who's going to win the election type shit. Yeah, it's just I look at it as like, a saga. And I think as in terms of it being, like, a story saga, it was, like, one of my favorites just because it has, like, so many different, like,
especially because, like, it's, like, right after, like, personally, when I first watched the show, like, I first saw Subaru, I thought Subaru was, like, it was kind of funny. It was just like as kind of a good character or whatever. Mm-hmm. But like honestly, over time, I started liking him more and more just because I liked that he actually was just becoming this fucking like obsessive dickhead who was just like fucking like wanted to like nut on Emilia every 5 seconds. I really enjoyed that because I really thought it kind of was like. It kind of really showed like because like he ends up in this fucking random fantasy world. Yeah. Nobody at all. He gets fucking like pickpocketed. He gets fucking I'm just fuckers. Nobody, and he fucking like dies and nothing. Like he's fucking just fucked there basically, and so he just kind of latches on to Emilia like his fucking life.
Subaru's power is the most just odd. It's the most unexplained because one moment he can't do shit, but the next he's like knocking out all 3 of those guys in the alley. Yeah. He did that. Well, it was more, and they're all on weapons. I'm like, oh.
I felt like that was more of a curse. Like, at that point, he just didn't give a shit because he was like, I'm gonna fucking die and be reborn. I mean, I don't give a fuck.
It wasn't bad.
Yeah. It was just like, I'm gonna fucking knock him out because like I'm gonna die anyways. He gives a shit. But it's just like, like his obsession with Emilia. Like I feel like a lot of people were like, I don't get it. How is he so obsessed with Emilia? But like, like rewatching the show, I really kind of get why he kind of went in that direction.
I get why
he got stuck in that way.
Yeah.
But I liked how he kind of fucking went into a fucking fuckhead mode for a while and kind of had to just stood out there because he was fucking this PO'd and just like fucking over it. Which I mean, like if you get fucking killed a million times and your fucking like your head rolls off, your fucking fingers get frozen off, and your fucking people get gashed in half and like I'd be fucking over it.
One of my favorite things they did is like one of the most annoying things is in these shows when they don't tell people like I die and keep coming back. I liked in this show how he literally couldn't. Yeah. So he knows all this stuff that's gonna happen. He knows all this stuff. And no one will believe him, and no one.
Do shit.
He just looks like a dumbass, and I like that. And I liked, you know, why don't you just toughen up and just power through? It's gonna hurt. Just tell someone. And when he tries, it just kills him. It just kills Emilia. And I thought that was one of the cooler parts. I'm like, wow.
Good fuck.
Mean savage.
Well, I loved fucking that episode where she's literally just Subaru talking to Rem the entire episode.
Yeah,
especially the episode because it's literally just them talking and that's it. It was such a good
episode. That episode a lot. That was one of my favorites.
Yeah, but like I was saying, it was like I feel like that one portion of the show where like where kind of where the camps are at, you know, it's kind of like it's just kind of like it's kind of just him interacting with them, and like it's him stuck in this fucking dick mode, and he's like. And he's just like, I'll fucking do anything. I don't give a shit. I want to fucking kill all these niggas. I'm done with them. I'm over them. I'm just gonna fucking slay all of them. So I'm gonna go through anybody I can, get my fucking hands and knees, start sucking toes, start asking for people to fucking help me kill these people. And all just like, dog, you're just fucking obsessed with killing these niggas. You don't even care about Emilia. And he's like, fuck you. I'm going. I don't give a shit. He's just like,
I love how like everyone just treats him like a dog. Where he's like, please, I need your help. And they're just like, fuck off. They don't have anything to offer us. And he's just like, whatever. Yeah, I really do. I think that's the main strength of this show and like why it ended up. Because if it had like, the show is obviously like I think just objectively like well done, right? Like it's like even if you're not into the story or the characters, that kind of thing, like it takes itself seriously. It's done with love, which is like the main thing to make a decent decent anime. But like if it had just stayed with like the premise of like, oh, he dies and resurrects and that type of shit, and it's like. But like he doesn't change or anything, like he just has to keep trying shit and he's always the same Subaru, that type of shit. Like I would have just lost interest. But the character dynamics throughout the entire show for like every character, like he changes obviously the most. Rem changes a lot. Emilia changes a good amount. Like there's everyone in the show like grows through like all of these processes. So it's like by far the character changes throughout are like the reason why this show is good for me. Like it would nothing else would have caught on with me. But like I'm a big into like character writing, that type of shit, and
So Julius is a shocking homie.
Julius is redeemed.
I like his character developed too.
Yeah,
because I hated him.
I hated him. I was the one that just knocked him out, dog.
But also kind of when he's beating the shit out of Subaru, you're
he's
like
good.
You're like good. Please do.
Subaru definitely deserved it. Not that bad, but.
But he also was kind of doing it out of his own, like, to make Subaru realize he's fucking like flexing on the best.
But like, Emilia's just like, stay the fuck out of it. Like, just wait at home. It's gonna be chill. Like, I just have to do some political shit that you shouldn't be involved with. And he still shows up for no fucking reason. Just to be like, because he's like, I'm going to save her somehow. Like, I'm going to be like the guy.
I thought the part where Jules was asking him, like, have you done enough to honor, to get the fucking title of knight? And, like, I think back of, like, how much shit he went through, and I'm like, I mean, you probably went through more than you guys actually honestly have gone through in your entire, like, honestly, more than these guys ever gone through. So, I mean, he's kind of up there.
He just sucks. I also like how, like, everyone has their elemental void thing or whatever for like their magic, and like Subaru's is just the shitty one. Like it's dark, just like
you can bind people. Okay, cool.
But I don't know. Like he's as a character, he's interesting because he is this like really weak fucker, but he has this like specific power that is like kind of in the same way of like Koyomi from Monogatari, like how Koyomi just gets the shit beat out of him all the time. He's a vampire,
he uses it to accomplish.
So it's like kind of the same thing, and like there is like a real redemption feel when like because he hits that super low where he's just like fuck it, like Rem, you and I should just go get married so I don't have to deal with this shit anymore. Like I'm done dying for this shit. He's like, Emilia, I can't save her, and like all of that, and you hit like this real like depressing low. And then after that, when he's like finally figuring out how to work people politically, like you're like, all right, like let's go, Subaru. Like you're actually using your new.
I love how all those episodes where he's at his fucking low are all like the despair called madness, the depths of despair. Fucking life fucking sucks. I hate my life. Suffering is life. Like it's just like these fucking depressing titles. Every single episode's worse and worse.
So I guess let's go down the list. We talked, I think, a decent amount about Subaru, but I feel like we should just go down the list and like
characters.
Yeah, just some characters that we liked or like how we felt about them. So we can start. I guess number 2 on the call list would be Emilia, if we're looking at it that way.
I liked Emilia.
I do too.
She was I don't know. She was one of the better characters. I liked her motivation. I'm a sucker for like the she's trying hard but she gets nothing out of it. There was the episode where she went into her own town. They all have their own little provinces. She went into her own town because the witch fiends were like harassing them. They were gonna get attacked, and she thought they were gonna get attacked. So she went to go offer help, and then everyone was shutting her down. I'm like, oh man. She's just trying to help.
I love this world where the only
It's
racism
terrible.
is against this white lady.
Literally, she's the only one. It's like
Fucking half elves.
they hate her. It's too bad.
I can't stand.
So she was best girl, I thought, just for that reason, just because she's just a really good person.
Yeah, she's good.
And she's got a cool power. I like the fight scene in the first arc when that blade lady's like hitting her, going, it's slashing, and she's just standing there. That's really cool. I liked her character, and I liked her relationship with Subaru. It was kind of cool. She wasn't stupid. She like saw what he was doing for her, and like she acknowledged like I'm in debt to you. You're great. So she was, her character made sense. I liked it.
I feel like that's like the controversial place to take now with all the REM fuckers around. I'm the same. I'm more. I think it's because I'm like a sucker for OTPs. Like,
yeah,
I just like when it's not even that I'm always that way, but it's just like I'm just kind of a true like audience. Like I'm a mark, Like when a fucking writer is like these are the two main people. Like they're the romantic relationship.
Exactly.
I don't give a fuck about the side chicks anymore. I'm just like I want to see them succeed.
I'm almost exactly the same way. I'm a sucker for the hero.
I may like another girl in the show more.
Yeah, that's how I will. Very often, the best girl for me is not the main girl, but I always want the main girl, main guys.
Yeah,
yeah.
Exactly.
Oftentimes, but
like with Toradora, for example, like I'm a huge Ami fan. But, like, I don't want Ami and Ryuji together in that show. Like, it's just. So it's the same kind of thing here. I really like Emilia just because, her character makes a lot of sense in terms of, like, it's like, tragic in that her whole life she's been just treated like shit. Or, like, all the special treatment she's received from other people has been, like, oh, you're a half-elf. And, like, just because it's
fucking mixed.
Like, it sucks. But she's just, like, still really kind throughout all of it. And, like, she has Puck, who's, like, her homie.
Puck was cool.
Puck's a homie.
Puck's a homie.
For my dog, dude.
But yeah, so like I don't know, like I really like her character. She is probably the most fit leader in terms of kindness, like not in terms of like actually. We'll get to the one true queen.
You can get.
But yeah,
do you want to know what side I'm on? Do you want me to tell you later?
Find out when you get to the character.
Yeah, once we get through these characters, let me know. But so then after Emilia and Puck, we'll just jam together. I guess Rem would be Rem and Ram.
I think
Wait,
Emilia.
hold on, bro.
You
guys talk about Emilia. Come on, man.
Emilia. She's that cute white girl. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about that. No, for like her character is just really like is good. It's not like she's not my favorite of all the characters, but she's like this really very consistently like this like it's Emilia, yeah. Like it's just like I'm always happy to see her. She's just
very well written.
She's gone for a long time too, so when you do see her,
and she was like, it's Emilia.
Yeah, she was gone. She was absent for a while.
Cool.
Next, Ram, right?
Yeah.
Let's jam Ram and Ram.
Ram Tower.
I don't think we need to talk about Ram, honestly. She was a pretty straightforward character.
Yeah.
She's just not as good as Ram, literally. They explain that a lot in the show. She's just inferior to Ram.
That's her whole gimmick.
Yeah.
Just worse Ram.
And somehow she's not as hot, looking exactly the same. But Ram has bigger titties, which they do talk about in the show.
Yeah.
Ram has a bigger rack. Anyway.
This is true.
I liked Ram's character a lot as well. Someone else talk to her because I have to reset the camera.
I like Rem's change as a character a lot because like she starts off just being very timid, quiet, and just like kind of very low key, giving like Subaru like side glances and just like occasionally just like like she obviously just doesn't trust his ass at all.
Yeah.
And then just like kind of just seeing him kind of confront her about it, and then like the way she kind of changes around that into actually becoming like wanting to flex on Subaru's dick, basically. that change. I like that change a lot. I mean, she's a fucking maid character. She's obviously very cute, and like her character is really cool. And like I completely get the appeal why people fucking like her so much. I understand all about her so much, and she's really good. I would say I wish they had kept in a few of the scenes from the light novel that they skipped on the anime because they really make it like Remy like even better.
Yeah.
Like they really like expand on the relationship with like Subaru like way more specifically.
There's some Rem shit upcoming as well. Hopefully we get season 2 relatively soon. But they get more into her. So she's not, even though she basically just cucks out at the end of the season.
Yeah, just cucks so hard.
Even though that's
kind of hard.
She's still in like a very important character within the series. But yeah, so Rem was like, they take that whole like butler type loyalty aspect of her and like really push it to extremes. But that's after Subaru
comes around
gains her trust, which is like important. I like that as well. Is like she's like it's just me and my sister. Like we're the only ones. And then like Subaru shows up, they're like real wary of his shit, and then he just proves to be like a good guy. And then it's just like it's over. Like she's just like she's with you like 110%.
And like all the scenes of like her like giving him like sunglasses and then Ram being like, why do you keep looking at Subaru like that? Why do you keep looking at Subaru? It's like, oh, you think his hair's ugly? Okay, that must be the reason why you're looking at it. Like, yeah, it's not because you want to kill him or anything like that.
And then her by far, I think the roughest scene, as we can all agree, is probably the Rem tortured scene thing.
Oh yeah,
that was a little too much for me. I was a little
I was clock out on
wincing. I could not. And she was still alive after.
Yeah,
messed up. And I didn't like that.
How could you crawl on the ground, dude?
That's messed up.
Crawling around.
I did like those cultist characters.
Yeah, the cult. That's the thing, is like the cult seems really like goofy.
The cult was cool. Like they were like a real threat.
Yeah.
And there was a point where I'm like, what the hell is he gonna do? Right?
Yeah.
It's like even if he gets an army, it's like I'm like, why don't you just get an army? And then the whale comes. It's like, oh god, they're a real threat. But anyway.
Yeah. No. The cult definitely just seems like, for usually when you get these type of shows that are like isekai type like bullshit shows where it's like these sort of really shallow like, and I'm not saying that this show has a shallow fantasy world, because it doesn't, which is why I think it's also really strong. But like usually with the isekai shows, you get like really shallow, not very well defined
antagonists
and like fantasy worlds.
It's like, oh yeah, I'm the strong, evil, big black knight. Yeah, the fucking dark sorcerer. I'm gonna fucking kill you, bro.
But yeah, the cult, like they show up and you're like, oh, these guys kind of look goofy. They have like the purple clothes.
And they're like has like kind of like
they have like Ku Klux.
They're fucked up.
But they're straight up like they kill. Like they don't fuck around.
That was messed up. When he was ready to like grab Emilia's dead body and like just destroy, he's like, I'm gonna rip it apart. I'm like, oh god, no.
Like it's like I love how like the first time she's I see them, it's just like Subaru fucking walking all the way to the fucking village, and then you see they just fucking like show up, it's like they fucking disappear, and that's it. It's just like, alright, you're fucking saluting our boy.
You're beloved by the witch. Yeah. So let's see. So
can I say one thing about the cult though? I think it's kind of funny because like they very clearly are not actually like in contact with the witch herself.
No,
like they very clearly just fucking
not at all.
They just fucking love her so much that they're just like obsessed about her. But in reality, she isn't like, they don't fucking like have anything to do with her like at all. They just like pray to her and like fucking love her so much, but she does not like she's not the fucking leader at all or anything like that whatsoever.
That's the other thing, is like all the like the cults, the witches, they're like they go way deeper on that shit. So like it's hard to know like what they're about, but yeah, like it seems within the show that they're just like this like weird group that's just all about the witch. Okay, then I guess there's what's the fucking guy who's like owns the mansion? Roswell.
He's on.
He's not much to say about Roswell.
He's weird. Like, the one weird thing about him. All right, he looks like a clown, right?
Yeah.
There's a scene where he goes in the bathtub, and I didn't recognize him. Yeah. He's talking to him like they knew him. I'm like, who the hell are you? Now I gathered he was the clown.
He's got his fucking top down.
He's got his little tiny hat.
But also like, he's super powerful, like insanely powerful. Like, it's weird that he's not utilized more. Like, where is he when the mansion gets destroyed? Whatever.
I forgot where that. It was some bullshit thing.
I love how dumb.
I forgot where he was.
I love how fucking dumb Subaru is, where he's just like, "Oh, you guys hired a clown?" like literally the first time
him on the shoulders. Like,
why would he just say
clown? No,
like hired a clown. Great.
But yeah, no, Roswell. There's not too much to say. He has a real weird like. relationship with Ram.
Oh yeah, fucking like pedophilia.
I never got that either. I kind of got it.
She's like
it's kind of a horn
but
thing,
it's like
but
this
it's
really
like
weird.
I got
like horn and shit. I don't know.
it seemed like he was just stimulating her.
Yeah,
she
it's
didn't
like,
have
yeah.
the horn.
I'm getting magic in your body right now, little girl. Yeah.
So that did not really make sense. But
Yeah.
whatever.
Then outside so that's like the Emilia camp, and then there. Oh, and I forgot Beatrice.
Oh yeah, Beatrice. Beatrice. I like Beatrice a lot. Her character is so funny. I remember something about her character I really like a lot.
Her relationship with Subaru was pretty funny.
Yeah.
I love how like she literally just throws him out the window.
Literally, it's like I don't give a.
But
Get out.
yeah, she's cool. She was
suppose.
also led on to be super powerful. But
Yeah.
But she has some
She
shit
is
where
still,
but she has some shit where she's like bound in a match or whatever, and it's like.
I liked her puck relationship too.
Yeah.
How she doesn't actually really give a
Just
shit
loves
about Emilia.
Puck.
She
It's just like
loves
yeah,
Puck.
fuck, dude.
Yeah, no, Beatrice, I usually say, for some reason I always catch myself saying I suppose at the end of shit, and so like that's her like little Moe catchphrase. I was like, oh okay, she gets it.
She gets it.
So that's the Emilia camp in full. Then the next camp that we really get to see, I mean we already talked sort of about Al and the blonde bitch whose name I don't even remember, honestly.
They're not in it enough to really.
Yeah.
That's the thing again with the fucking light novel. They move some shit again from the anime.
Yeah.
Where there's literally a scene that is very 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 crucial about Al that like is like a fucking just like oh shit, and he's fucking left that out entirely, and it was like that's kind of a really.
So he just seems like a
important,
weirdo. Yeah.
He seems like a weirdo, but it's like no, there's like some shit with this guy. It's kind of important.
She wasn't in it much, but I'll tell you, I liked the first arc a lot, and I liked Felt and her giant buddy.
Yeah.
The first
Old
arc was
man.
just really grounded, you know.
Yeah.
Literally, they were all the like lowest. They were in the town, but
Isn't the old man's name Rom? So you have Rem, and Rom.
Oh yeah, it was old man Rom.
I like
We're
those
gonna
two
find the
characters.
reams soon.
They weren't really in it enough to talk about either. But
There also was Guts lady. Also, the fucking name is.
her character
Oh,
is
Her
really
character was
cool.
fucking hot.
I was waiting for her
Yeah,
to
she
show
can
up.
disembowel me anytime.
I was waiting for her to show up the entire time,
Yeah.
but she didn't.
No
which makes me
spoilers.
think there's a lot they left out.
No, it's not that. It's just that they said more they haven't done yet.
Yeah.
There's a lot more arcs that happen way after.
But yeah, so
She can disembowel me.
yeah, no, okay, so then I guess there's the Felt camp, which is we already talked about most of them, and then including Reinhardt, who's just
Reinhardt's the
Sick.
dopest
Flex.
character in the game.
He's
The dopest
fucking
character in anime.
rap game Reinhardt. Dude.
he really is the goat. He's just like I don't know. You just feel safe when Reinhardt's around. He's
I want Reinhardt. Why isn't Reinhardt gonna be the king? I want Reinhardt to be the king.
he's busy being the sword saint. That's
Be both, bro.
then we I guess there's also the little bitch who has the like who has the what's the Kansai dialect like where and all of her furries.
Oh,
yeah, the fucking.
Oh, I say.
And Ricardo the werewolf.
They were the brothers.
The freaking werewolf guy with the furry.
I liked him.
He was cool.
Yeah.
He was Ricardo.
He was cool in that battle. I love how midway through the battle, he's injured. He won't be fighting. And you don't see him for the rest.
I just love that
He was
his
fun.
name is Ricardo. Like, it's the best name for a werewolf that because I have my homie Ricardo, and I was just like, hey,
Werewolf.
you actually have like my anime character named after me is fucking Captain Levi, and then you got Ricardo.
He's
the
just a
werewolf.
homie.
Yeah, he is.
He's obviously this beast. He's this warrior. He sees Subaru. He's like, "You're the man. You're my man, Subaru."
I do like that one scene with that camp where it's a Subaru in the fucking bar or whatever, and he gets played super hard.
Yeah,
and
I
like,
love played.
and then like they just all just like fucking get up and all these different ones, like the entire bar was just all this fucking free fuckers, and like those little fucking the sister and brother are so fucking adorable.
Yeah, they're
when
so
they talk.
cute.
There's fucking there's a
They're
part
also
where she
like
says
bloodthirsty as fuck.
yeah. There's a part where she's like says Daijobi or something like that. Says
Yeah.
and then Blue says Daijobi, and it's like the most cute thing ever. It's so adorable.
Yeah, they're just like these little, they're just little like stuffed animals that happen to be fucking like bloodthirsty.
Super
magicians.
powerful.
And then the last camp, which is, and I'll go ahead and say it, my fucking camp,
Best camp.
Crusch Sama.
Sama, yeah, best girl.
Crusch is just the reason I love Crusch specifically. She's just number one. She's just most fit to be a leader. Like
Yeah.
she's wise. beyond her years. She's got like solid advisors. People trust her.
She literally has an ability where she can tell some fucking lies to her. Like that's not important to have if you're a leader. Like
it's really it's great. Like she's just like the most like just character in the show, and like even like I like how like Subaru at the end of the white whale shit. Where she's like she's like talking to Subaru and he's kind of like, you know what, you're so cool, like if I already didn't have like Emilia and them, like, he would easily be like the next in line.
Trust me, you're on the list.
You're on the list. If these two die, you're next.
But yeah, she even then she's still like, okay, cool, thanks. Like she's just like
cool. All right.
She's just a homie, like, and I just like her camp a lot too. Like Felix is dope.
Felix was cool.
The forest is riddled with traps.
She didn't even try to hide it though. That was just it was weird. Her
and
character's
then
Wilhelm.
Yeah.
Wilhelm was a really cool character, and I liked what they did with his. They kind of showed his backstory at the beginning of every episode, throughout the well shit, and his wife. His source saint, she was actually truly the best girl. Even though we didn't get so much for her, she was definitely the best.
For real though?
Reinhardt's
grandma was...
Yeah.
We out here. Yeah. I do like that they gave him a lot of, like... It's a character that when he showed up, I was like, whatever.
Yeah, he's just
kind of...
And then as time goes on and they deal more with, like... Or they delve more into his background. Like,
I love how I first see him and he has got 6 swords. I'm like, this is retarded. How are they going to explain why he has 6 swords, man? They do. He was cool. I love the physics of this. They're just running on the side of the well.
Yeah. That is pretty sick.
Great. Also, the coolest weapon award goes to Crusch. With her sword, where
fucking
hits it.
Tetsaiga.
Yeah, it hits from a distance. That's fucked up.
That's so.
I'd kill some of my own people on accident. I'd kill. That's easy to mess up. All right, that's all I'm gonna say.
So, did you want to talk about Crusch at all, or? Like,
I mean, this is the exact same thing.
Yeah.
She's fucking like objectively the god of the new world.
Yeah, Crusch was a really good character. She has green hair, which is a plus. No, but I liked her character a lot. She definitely made the most sense to be the leader. She definitely had experience. Obviously, she could lead an army. She had respect since she just called on all those people, and overnight they came. I liked her.
And your team?
Yeah, who's your squad?
I can't.
Wow, indecisive.
It's really hard to decide because Crusch. It seems like Crusch seems like the right choice, but Emilia seems like the heart's right choice. I like Emilia.
Yeah.
Your brain says Crusch, your heart says Emilia.
Yeah. Honestly, although Emilia wouldn't be that bad either.
No, she's easily the second best choice, I think.
Maybe the second.
You think that the little like furry chick or?
No. It's between those two. The other 3 don't.
Okay.
Matter.
You know, it could be felt good just fucking flex. You know what I mean?
I feel like if I saw more Phil, I would have voted for her. But it's between those 2, and it's a really hard decision, and I'm probably gonna go with Emilia. Probably. It's
respectable.
I can't. It's hard to decide because I like Crusch a lot, and I actually like her camp surrounding her more than I like Emilia's camp.
Yeah.
But I like Emilia a little more.
It's respectable.
Just a little bit.
I mean, like, yeah.
Plus,
like,
I think it's important when you think about it, just because it's not like she necessarily needs to be a general. She just needs to be a leader. I think it's important that someone of a different race should be the leader.
Yeah.
I think it's important, that she's been beaten down all her life. Crusch seemed like she was molded for this. She came up to do this. I don't know much about her background, obviously. They didn't explain it.
Yeah.
But Emilia, she's just worked hard for it all her life. I don't know. I'm a sucker for that. So I'm going to go Emilia as just her. Not the camp, just Emilia.
I dig it. No, I mean, also, like, the government is fucking stupid.
Yeah,
they're fucking idiots.
They make it very clear that the government is
dumbasses.
retarded. Which is another reason I thought Fell would have been cool, because she's like, fuck the government.
Yeah, she's like, I'm burning it down.
I'm
bitch.
like, all y'all. I'm
You're all fired if I get this crown.
God, I just want to see more Reinhardt. God. Yeah, in the end of it, that's it. But, yeah.
You should talk about Betelgeuse.
Oh, Betelgeuse.
Betelgeuse.
Betelgeuse. Yeah.
He was pretty cool. He was really cool.
I thought he was a good antagonist.
I love that it's Soma's voice. Like, it's
it's
hard
so,
because that guy's in so much shit. Like, it's
Yeah.
hard for me to hear anything other than Soma now, though.
Yeah.
Because I've watched so much of it. But, yeah. Yes.
You can definitely hear it, though. It makes it a lot funnier.
I did love the way they animated him was super good. Because like, they just have moments where it's like the super serious scene, and he had this most like fucking dumbass looking at his from and he'd be like, you fucking pissed, bro?
This show has a lot of wincy things, like just the biting the fingers.
Oh yeah, and he was like,
there are a few scenes that make me just go, and that's one of them. I didn't know it before I watched this show, but I learned that don't bite your fingers.
Yeah, he's like really, really, like, I mean, he's like pure crazy, right? But like he's animated in a way that's like kind of funny, but also really creepy.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
they'll do funny shit with him, like sight gags where he's like floating on the hands and he's just like sitting like this. But it's also like kind of like creepy because you're just like, what a fucking weirdo.
Well, it's even creepier because he looks funny. He's like, haha. He's like, your love is so strong. Yeah. He's so funny. But also he'll fucking cripple you and twist your head around to nothing.
Twist heads
off.
And
when he turns into like that weird like blob fucking monster when they're like riding away on the carriage.
That was almost... That could have honestly left that part out.
Yeah.
Or kept it in. It didn't make a difference.
It didn't really.
But it was funny. It was... Yeah.
It was like final boss third mode.
You also ever talk about Puck is fucking ultra furry.
Oh yeah, Puck's hella strong.
He really...
Puck is a
I love how
dude.
forgotten about that was. It's like Puck's like,
Emilia
right
gone?
Emilia gone, I'm going to destroy the world.
Yeah.
That was also one of the coolest things. I thought that was one of the coolest mystery parts is where, you know, Subaru escapes and he walks to the town and it's snowing and then he sees this gigantic monster. He kneels down and then the credits are just that.
It's just that. His fucking head rolls over.
I'm like, damn, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was really cool.
It really said that like his whole contact with Emilia literally is just like he's just there to protect Emilia, and she fucking dies. He'll fucking kill the entire world.
Yeah, he's like, I'm done.
He's like, all right, fuck it, the world's over. Like he's there, but it's so funny too because like he's there to save Emilia and like protect Emilia, but yet he works a literal 9 to 5 fucking like shift of it only.
Yeah.
And at 5 p.m. he's fucking done. He's fucking has to fucking nap for the rest of the time. He can't do anything at all. It's just like.
It's really funny because like he's just hella strong. He's like right under Reinhardt in terms of strength.
Mm-hmm. Is he
and
really?
like at least like Goat Puck is.
That makes
like,
me like Reinhardt even more.
Yeah,
Reinhardt's so cool.
Reinhardt could literally end the world then. If
they just keep his, I just need a show called Reinhardt.
They fucking list in the light novels. They list all the blessings that because as a sword saint you get all these like blessings and like perks and shit. And he has like this list, and it's like resistance to fire, resistance to water, resistance to ice, resistance to wind, resistance to sun, resistance to shadow. It's like he cannot be hit first. He always gets the first hit.
And then that's how you know how homey he is.
When you hit him, it makes him stronger. Like
when you hit him, it makes him stronger.
He's hella busted.
Yeah, he's a go.
Because it's funny because like you have a character like that who like. It's almost like half comedic how strong he is, you know.
Yeah.
But it's like, but they don't like overuse how strong he is. Like he's just very.
That's why he's
never there. But he's just strong and like he doesn't like go immediately go 100%. He just fucking like he's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get a fucking sword and just break it and you're fucking dead.
After his fight with the disembowelment girl. He's like, sorry, sword. It just
breaks.
Like, because they just overused it. The sword can't take it.
I feel like isekai shows could learn from Reinhardt, specifically Sword Art Online. Because Kirito is this fucking overpowered dog. I'm fucking gonna beat all these niggas. I don't give a shit. I got fucking my double sword at the back, fucking kill all you. But the way they do it, Reinhardt is like he's just like so much like it's actually like it's just cool. It's not like stupidly overpowered versus like it's not like I don't know how to describe it because like Reinhardt is just like he's not there often.
It's really just they don't use him that much.
Yeah, he doesn't use him that much, but like he also doesn't immediately go like 100%. He's just like he just fucking does his thing. Whereas Kirito is this fucking tired character who's the main fucking character who literally does not progress at all and this fucking pulls out the sword and he's just like I'm fucking Jesus bitch. I'm gonna call y'all niggas up.
It's really a problem.
I like the Photoshop of Jesus' head on Kirito. I've seen that around quite a bit.
That is like the thing an isekai shows to do, but yeah, because they're supposed to be like self inserts and shit. But yeah, I like having because Subaru is like still relatively strong and like
because he's also like
he's like a good self insert kind of character. He's like flawed and shit, but like you just having a character like Reinhardt is like really.
Yeah, because like oftentimes you get characters I don't know, like a fucking ultra beta main protagonist or you get like the fucking OP main protagonist, so it's kind of like nice to get kind of that's one that's not either.
Yeah,
it's just like not this fucking Kirito-sama.
Kirito-sama, but yeah. In terms of like arcs, what was your guys' favorite? You think
they were all good. I thought none of them, though some of them had weaker points. They were all really good. I think I liked the first arc the most.
Mm-hmm.
I liked the house arc a lot. It just had
too many episodes.
It had shit drag on. Conversations that did not matter. Some choices that he made did not make sense. Subaru, just like being a butler. It's like there's easier way to, especially after the first arc where it's like, I'm going to obtain information. And he doesn't be the butler the one time, but he does the next time.
Because it's basically
stuff. He's like, because I'm going to live it right now.
It's like, I have no idea what the, like, because a lot of times it's just like, it's just a decision after he's fucking died, he's like, well, clearly I did something wrong that time. Okay, I'll do something different this time. Okay, I'll try to do something different this time. And it's just like...
Well, he went back to it.
Just throwing shit at the wall.
I know. But that doesn't matter that much.
Right.
Because he got the job done. They were all pretty good. And the last arc was super good. That was almost my favorite. But... when the well arc. Actually, they're all really good.
I think the well arc is my favorite.
The well arc isn't my favorite. It's definitely the coolest though.
That first scene when the well first shows up and it's just this fucking ringtone going off and turns to this fucking like goofy ass like. It's that fucking creepy ass sounding like fucking scuffed version of it. It's
like, had that as his ringtone as well. I did that same sound clip though.
They did really good with the well. I saw, in the mist.
Mm-hmm.
There was one part that dragged on for like an episode and a half where I was just, it was like a waste of time.
Which one was
it? Was after Rem was killed by the well or forgotten or
whatever.
Oh yeah,
that fucking.
And then
fucking
Subaru continues to live on forever. That's also the same arc that Emilia dies, and he still just drags her body, and he's still living. And then he meets the cultist, and he's still living.
Yeah, /anime was not happy with that.
I did not like that arc. They dragged it on.
Everyone in the chat was just like, "Kill yourself."
Well, and he's killed himself before. It's not that much to ask, bro. Rem died. Emilia died. Everyone at the house hates you. They all think it's like.
I heard Reese had a Fire Emblem game faster than he fucking killed himself in that arc, and he lost like the two main characters.
I get why you don't want to kill yourself, and I also liked how they didn't lose that. Like, he's still a human. It still hurts to die.
Yeah.
You know, and they make that very clear. And I can definitely, empathize.
Yeah.
With that, I can understand why he doesn't want to kill himself. That arc just dragged on.
I also get why the writers had that episode going as long as they did, because it was to set the whole fucking who's Rem shit, because it set the whole fucking gimmick about the well being the fucking like if you get eaten up by it, you're fucking no one remembers who the fuck you are, and it's like okay.
It was just a long time without Rem or Emilia, because after Emilia left, Rem was carrying it.
Yeah.
Until they met Crusch.
Yeah, Rem. There was a period where Rem just hard carried.
Rem hard carried between the points where Emilia left and Crusch finally agreed to help out Subaru.
Yeah.
Rem hard carried that shit big time.
Yeah, my favorite arcs.
And then Rem was absent. They had people randomly absent the rest of the time. Rem didn't show up after Rem was done with the whole well shit. She didn't show up one time. Like, that was kind of strange. There was a long period of time where she just wasn't in it.
Yeah.
Same with Emilia and shit. Whatever.
Yeah. My favorite arcs was for me. It was easily the Dimension arc, because for me that arc was just like the mystery. Because like I kind of could figure like obviously it was someone like his first death when he first wakes up and it's like wait, I fucking died. What the fuck happened? Like he doesn't know what happens, And it's like okay, who the fuck killed him? And afterwards the fucking change shit, and it's like okay, so you still don't really know who could be. It's still very vague. But then like because he also was fucking poisoned because the fuck is the fucking curse the dog. So it's a fucking double whammy. You're getting both cursed and getting fucking killed by Ram.
Yeah.
The fucking double whammy has a fair few both
of them. It's like such a hard mystery.
And it's just like, But then like, and then kind of figuring out like, yeah, clearly Rem does not trust him, and like, obviously it's Rem, but like, there's a person in that arc that I just fucking love. I especially love the fucking when Rem dies instead of him. That episode, and then like. Ram's just fucking like pissed and like everybody was about to fucking show down and about this fucking shit out and then Emilia and all that, but like and then he fucking runs off to the cliff and all that shit and then this is just like, okay, what the fuck can you even do now? She's fucking dead. You can't do anything about this. You fucking dumbass. You can't do about this. And he's like, I'm gonna do what I always do. And he fucking runs off the cliff and jumps off. And he's like, no, I'm doing this because I fucking love you guys. So he runs off the cliff and just dies. And after that, I kind of piss off after that, but. I don't know, that arc I liked a lot. And after that, I probably would say, probably the whale. The whale one was really good. And after that, the first arc, and then I don't know. After that, it's just the fucking like the ending, and then the fucking one with Betelgeuse.
I feel it.
Well, I mean, because like I actually liked the one with Betelgeuse, like where it was just like the constant despair shit. I just didn't like it. That one was the only one that I really actually felt like got on. For as longer than I wanted it to, because it was just like I really liked what they were doing.
That was just the only arc where I was. Every other arc, I felt like I was able to come up with a solution to Subaru's problem before Subaru ever did.
Yeah.
Except that arc.
That one, I had no idea what to do.
What
I was like, what the fuck can you do to get out of this one? So, I mean, like I liked it.
Especially, and then when you think he's finally done it, he gets possessed, and I'm like, damn, that was kind of. I like that a lot. That was a cool turn. Because it's like, what is he actually gonna do?
Yeah, in terms of like, so I think Whale Arc is my favorite just because it's heavy on Crusch. It's got like a good amount of like character background, that type of shit. I don't know. It's just like one of the more like solid arcs, I think.
Yeah.
After that, I actually all the shit with Julius and Beetlejuice I didn't fuck with that much.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even when Julius like redeemed himself later on. I still wasn't a huge Julius fucker. I just thought he was like kind of dumb and boring.
Yeah.
He was weird too. He was like a role player. He's like, I'm not Julius. I'm myself. Anyway,
the more I thought about the mansion arc, the more I liked it.
Yeah.
Because it is a really cool like it is like two mysteries in one kind of.
Yeah.
So I dig that. I mean. Yeah, and then I guess just like the end shit was like pretty good, probably under the mansion, and then I think that was like the majority of it. There was one other thing I was gonna say, so like in terms of flaws, like what flaws do you think that it had? Any like big glaring flaws?
It had a few, I thought. So the dying and coming back to life, I like how that wasn't the point of the show because that's been done before.
Mm-hmm.
I like how it was a backdrop. However, Subaru's just ignoring of it. He just seems to ignore it. It never becomes a goal of his to figure out what the hell's going on.
That's true.
And he never like talks to someone like Beatrice like, hey, there's this thing that's happening to my friend. And it's like something like that.
Never heard of anything like this?
He doesn't even have to say it's happening to him. He can say like, "Have you heard of like a curse or something that can bring you back?" Because it's kind of inferred. At least I thought that it had something to do with the witch.
Yeah.
And I thought actually what might be cool at the beginning, they explained something. It was just a little part where they said, the king died or whatever, and only the bloodline, the king can be the king, and there's no one else in this world. And I thought it could be cool. I thought something they might do. I didn't think so, because it would be a stereotype of the main character. But I thought the dragon might have brought him up from a different world, because in some way he had the blood of the king, which kind of made sense why he would be in that world, because he said they made a point to say no one in this world is related to the king. I'm like, that seems like a weird way to phrase it. That not the case, obviously. I thought that might be cool, but it's just him ignoring that was kind of whatever. Subaru was a pretty okay character. He wasn't really anything special. He did develop around with the characters around him. I thought the characters around him development were better than his. I thought Rem's was better, and Crusch's she didn't develop that much, but I thought the character was far more interesting than him. You know, as well as Emilia and everyone. So he was just really subpar to me. And they were just dragging on things throughout it, you know.
Right.
So it was, you know, it was good. Or you know, not that many flaws, but
it has its fair share.
I mean, my biggest thought was my biggest one was honestly like the fucking that one fucking Metal Gear shit kind of dragging on. Was like the main one that was like, because I don't know, watching it as it came out, it was just like, all right, I like some elements of this art, but I just don't. They kind of just hurt up a little bit here.
Yeah.
Beyond that, my main flaws with it are, I don't know. I mean, like there's all the flaws, kind of. I don't know. I kind of think like those are like ultra glaring, because to me a lot of the shit they explained, and I thought they explained very well.
They do.
But there's just some like minor stuff occasionally where it's just like, I don't know. I don't have any super things that were crazy. I mean, I will say though
we're gonna cut off for a minute. Say we're gonna cut off for a minute.
What the fuck?
I had to change battery. It's gonna take a minute. Sorry, I had to change the battery on the camera. We're back. We were talking about flaws.
Yeah. So my main one was just that one dragged on more than I wanted to. I mean, there was like some moments where like you know, I did like Subaru overall as a character, and I did like his change as a character. There was a few moments where it was just like Subaru was a bit too drastic. Like I get the reason behind why he was what he was at certain points. Those points where it was just kind of like even though I get that he's going fucking insane and all this shit, and he's fucking dying in all these awful ways. It's like those moments where it's just like, I don't need that level quite, you know.
Yeah.
This kind of shit like that. I mean, most of my flaws with the show are mostly just kind of just minute shit that would like show up occasionally. Although I will say I fucking hate that carriage rider fucker so much.
Oh, Oscar?
Yeah, he's so annoying. He's so
Oscar's
fucking pointless. He's a fuckhead. He's behind. He actually just such an annoying ass character. I don't like him.
He's funny because when Subaru sees him later, he's like they talk like familiar, like, hey, remember me, bro? Yeah, let's go and stop. It's like, and they're homies. It's kind of fun.
The Grand Dragon carriage. Yeah, no, I think mine kind of sums up like yours too. Jesus, your guys as well. Which is just pacing.
Yeah,
right? Like
the pacing is
I just think that there's some real pacing issues with the show where it's like. And it is always hard when you have this much content of like the light novel's pretty like dense in terms of like, you know, shit that you could show and shit that you don't have to show, and like they separate it out to where they think like the most important stuff is obviously going to be like a lot of Rem shit, a lot of Emilia shit. Knowing some of the shit that happens in the light novel, I was like, oh, that would have been cool to see, like if they maybe cut you know some something else. But yeah, I think just in terms of just pacing the arcs a little bit better, maybe just cutting certain things, adding others, we're looking Gucci. But other than that, like I really enjoy the characters in the show a lot. Dialogue was pretty great. I don't know, I just think overall like it's a really solid show. Yeah. Even if you don't fuck with the characters in it, I think that it's like still a watch on my my recommendation.
My Shaname list.
Let's transition right from that.
Wait,
glowing. What?
Did you have something?
You have one more thing?
No, I was just coming on the pacing thing.
Oh.
And one thing that I've learned from anime is that pacing is probably the biggest killer more than anything else in anime. Anything else, it is
just in television.
It is it is the fucking chainsaw. Okay, it's the fucking bullet time matrix. You have to fucking dodge all these bullets. And you fuck up one time, it can leave a sour taste in people's mouths so easily. Yeah. And especially because the thing is, well, a lot of these type of shows, especially like Re:Zero, is that you have this like original medium which out of like light novel or a manga or whatever, and you basically have to figure out, okay, here's where we're gonna start. We have to figure out where we're gonna end, like which point up into the manga or up into the light novel we're gonna end at, and like we have to figure out how we're gonna pace this in between how many episodes we want to set it at. And it's like, for instance, you get a show like this show, which is 25? That was like a good size for this kind of a spread. Yeah. But then you get like shows where it's like Angel Beats. You have 12 episodes, and you have all stuff to cover, and you don't cover any of it. Or you get a show like there's not shows like that, you know, where they like for instance, Erased. It's a show that like the pacing was super good for the first like while of the show, but then they realized, oh yeah, you only have 12 episodes, and you want to get like the entire meat, you get all this
like
fucking out of the way, and it's like. The kind of thing is, they can't just say, hey, we're going to have more episodes. They can't just do that. That's not how this just works. Studios wants to be like, oh yeah, sure, just put more money in it. It's just like, yeah, they're going to be like, okay, we're set. This is going to be this many episodes, and that's it. There's no, like, you can't just change out of nowhere and be like, okay, like, you can do like a second season, and that's how people kind of get away with it sometimes. But like,
Erased is like when you're doing like a poster board, like happy birthday sign. And it like starts off and the letters are looking all good and shit. And
they're all really big and blocky.
You're running out of room and you're like, shit, and you have to like cram them in. Like,
I know the feeling too well.
But yeah, so I think, were you going to...
I was going to say after that glowing review, but after the glowing review, what score would you give ReZero something or another?
something or another.
Well, see my anime list for the accurate scoring of it. I think I gave it somewhere in the realm of like an 87 or something like that, which is a B+. I think it's like really, really strong. Like I said, in most spots, the animation is underrated, I think.
Yeah.
It looks good.
It looks good. The character designs are great, which is also a really underrated aspect.
They were
like,
cool.
Pretty much all the character designs are really nice.
A lot of really cool costumes.
Yeah.
Outfits.
And especially at the end, I love when they pump budget into emotional moments like they did at the end with the like Emilia reunion thing.
Yeah,
it looked really good.
It was really great.
But yeah, the Sakuga in certain moments is great. Oh, manga. I just think animation is probably underrated. It's not like blow your mind great, but it's underrated. Music was fine. I think some of the audio cues and stuff were really stuck out to me, like when the little like children's choir.
Yeah. The second cinematic for the OP. Oh, I hated that. I forgot about that.
That was so fun.
It matched really well. But anyway, the second cinematic for the cinematics for the second OP were really, really, really good. I liked it. The first one was really good too. Was him kind of, he was dead and came back and then he died at the end. But the second one was even better. I thought it was Emilia, the hands. Yeah. Because I skip over it, so I only see the hands closing over Emilia and him running. It was really good.
Yeah. Concepts other than Konosuba, it's my favorite isekai. And because you forget Konosuba's an isekai.
Yeah, because it's a comedy.
And then, I mean, characters I enjoyed a lot. So yeah, I would say like 87% ish, like B+.
For me, if I'm doing 8%, we're doing hard 1 through 10. Nothing else, nothing more. It's an 8. But I think if I had to pretend, it'd probably be around like mid, like 8.5, somewhere around there, like kind of 8.
Like a high 8.
Yeah. So I thought overall it was a really solid show. There's a lot, especially because like I just feel like it was definitely a deconstruction of the genre. Because I've seen a decent amount of isekai shows and they always fucking put me to sleep or like you want to fucking not watch it because it's bad. I mean, no one wants to watch shit online,
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I liked. Yeah, obviously the animation was really solid. The story, it was some of the pacing issues. It was pretty consistent. The summer shows obviously stood out more than other ones. The characters were probably the best part about the show in my opinion. And I mean, beyond that, the sound cue that's a shit. And like there's certain like the moments where
they don't fuck up the lighting.
Certain moments where they would just have certain audio keys or certain shit like that, Does stuff like
fix
that.
the lighting at the very end.
How dark it was good.
I did like the ending song, the fucking Sticks Here, whatever the fucking name of the song is. Kind of because like certain episodes they either wouldn't have an opening or wouldn't have like an ending. It would just be the song playing while some shit is happening. Yeah. And all of a sudden they'd be like, oh shit, a mind blowing thing happened right at the end of the fucking song drop, that kind of thing. I thought that was good. So yeah, it's just a.
I did good.
Yeah, 8.
Shelby.
I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10, a 70 if we're doing terms of percent, 75%. I guess a C. I don't really like to think about it that way. I like 5 to be the midpoint. So 7's good. I'd give 7 a good. Mm-hmm. It was good. Not much blew me out of the water from what I've seen. A few things did, but It was a solid show, you know, with a few missteps, you know, mostly not really bad writing, not really. The writing was pretty solid. There was some just strange things, small things that the characters did. They're very small things that just compounded a lot. But it was good. I'd recommend it. I'd love to see a second season, and that's pretty much it.
I feel like one day we should do a thing of like how we review shit, because everybody's like a different style thing, you know.
Yeah.
Because my style is more like A, B, C, D, and then F. Because like for me, if it's like it's below 5, not fucking much anyways. You know?
Yeah.
So,
I don't like the A, B, C, D, F. I might as well be just doing A, B, C, D, F. Yeah. Because then it leaves out 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, I don't really like it either. It's just like I'm so used to doing it that way.
It's American
and I just fucking hate I hate trying to think of shit in other systems like thinking of like, okay, this is a 7, so this is good.
It's hard because I try to keep it with like the 5 being the average.
Yeah.
But I'm a huge movie guy, and they rate movies by like 7 being like, it has to be a 7 to be watchable.
Yeah.
Below a 7.
Yeah.
So that it's hard for me to really like change
5
my
is
mindset,
like average.
because I want it to be one way, but when I'm rating film as well as anime, it kind of turns out.
The thing that fucked me up was when I made a fucking hummingbird account back when I was like a meme for a while. You were like, dog, fucking animals going to hummingbird dog.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, I still have it. I don't use it though. But like, because they rate things out of 5, and so like transferring it directly from like it's so weird like because you do it out of 5 out of 10 or like out of percentage. Yeah. And like for me percentage probably like honestly the best way to do it, percentage overall.
Percentage is definitely
like the most like consistent way. Because like doing it because it's so hard because like I look at like a 10 and like a 10 out of 10 is 5 out of 5 obviously, you know, there's no shit. Yeah. But like it's weird to think that like a 7 out of 10 is a 3.5, you know? Yeah. Like, it's just kind of weird to think about this because then it's just like, because I don't know, because it's just kind of like fuss up the whole bullshit A, B, C, D, F fucking nonsensical bullshit, you know? Because then like, at that point, an F, if you're doing it out of 5, like an F would be like the actual 0, which would be like an actual fucking 0, but out of 10 that wouldn't work, you know? It's just like, I don't know, it's confusing shit. But percentage, I think, is the best way to...
One last thing, should I spoil one bit of the light novel to blow your guys' minds and make you really sad?
Spoiler alert, we're putting the spoiler at the top of the screen and the bottom.
Because this is a spoiler for those of you who have not even for the anime, but like...
Is this something I might see in the future? Whatever, just tell
possibly,
me.
Yeah, it's not like a story spoiler.
If it's not something that's out yet, then I don't care.
Is it about the witch?
No, it's about the fact that, so in the light novel, later on, they find that, according to like the way that Subaru's powers work, the places that he dies are those like timelines keep moving after he dies.
I thought about that.
Yeah, that's like a real thing. Fucked up. Yeah, it is super fucked up. So like the one where he dies in Emilia's arms, like it just happens.
That's the fucking worst thing ever. Whenever technical shit happens, like the fucking multiple timelines and shit, and things keep going on. It's just like
that's why I continue to ask me when we were watching Steins Gate, like, are the timelines going on, or is this just what the
best one is where he jumps off the cliff.
It was pissing me off.
Oh, yeah,
that one is fucked up because Rem and Ram are like, what the fuck just happened? And like it really fucks them up bad, and they're just like, was he actually a bad guy? Like, what was
No, because that was fucking lowly girl and Ram were just watching
jump off the cliff. Anyway,
Beatrice.
What we will be reviewing or talking about next time.
Yeah, we wanted to kind of do a thing where instead of watching something, because at this point, me and Doc have obviously watched like a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
Shell is getting to the point where he can say you've watched a bunch of shit. So it's like, for us to watch something new or like to find something new to rewatch or whatever, like we're gonna have to cover old ground a lot of the time. Otherwise, we'll just be doing seasonal shit for the rest of this podcast. So
and it so happens that we need to record some stuff ahead of time.
Yes.
So, if we're wearing the same clothes, don't be alarmed.
That's why.
That's why. So, we'll just surprise you, actually. How about that?
Yeah, I think so.
Please tune in next week, or next day, or tomorrow, or the next month. Who knows?
And we'll be covering something all three of us have already seen, so it'll be more like an analyze instead of a react. So, yeah, I think that's it. Thanks much.